Gemini Rising, welcome here to Soul Passages Astrology. I am your astrologer, Georgia Dempsey, and I am thrilled you joined me for your first March eclipse report. Eclipses are super powerful cosmological events that tend to rock our world in a really big way. We have one of two coming between March 8th and 9th. It'll actually arrive in the evening of March 8th. But these events are so powerful that they tend to have a pretty potent impact on our lives. So you may feel an event happen within 2 weeks prior to the actual eclipse day or 2 weeks after. And whatever shakes out, you're likely to feel what's been going on for 6 months to a year following the eclipse. So it's really good to get in touch with what's coming. Know what's happening so you can harness the energies as much in your favor as possible so that you can set seeds for a wonderful and happy future. So let's take a look at what's going on. For you, the eclipse action is all going on up in your 10th house. So the 10th house rules over career, but also reflects our worldly standing. So not only does it have to do with job promotions and things like that, but our outward image to the world. Think of it as the worldly stage. So if you have big changes to your worldly image, like getting married or getting divorced or coming out of the closet, some big life thing that changes who you are to the world, that is what is up for grabs during this eclipse season. So it's a pretty potent time. Now up there in the 10th house, which we've got a bunch of planets in Pisces, including Mercury, the planet of communications, Neptune, the higher octave of Venus, which has a very soul-filled feeling to it. We have a dwarf planet called Ceres, which is all about nurturing yourself. We've got both the sun and moon, hence the new moon eclipse. And we've got the south node of the moon, which brings up issues from the past. And we've got Chiron, the wounded healer. So that's a pretty heavy plate going on up there. And I want to focus right now on Chiron, the wounded healer. And I want to do this because wherever Chiron is in our chart, it's that place in our lives where we feel like we've been injured somehow and there is no fixing it. And yet, if you can make this part of your life right, I will say that it will become the strongest thing ever. And so we look back to some of the mythology of Chiron to find answers. And Chiron was a centaur, and he was half man, half beast. And he got injured in his leg or lower nature by a poisoned arrow. And try though he might, he actually could not heal himself, but he became one of the great healers of the world. And it was because he used his healing journey and all that he learned along the way to help heal others. Now that doesn't mean that you won't be able to heal yourself. It does mean that you are likely facing something where that journey of healing has begun. And so I think of questions like, what's happening with your career right now? Have you been passed over for some promotions or raises and you feel kind of hurt by that? Are you actually following your true path, your true destiny in life? Sometimes when things aren't going well at work, it's because we're beating our head against a brick wall all the time while we are denying who we are really meant to be. So there is a way for you to step into your power and to find your true destiny, even if you are feeling somewhat injured on the job right now. And if you are facing some sort of dark night of the soul regarding things like this, I want to tell you to look down to your fourth house for support. Your fourth house rules your family, your home environment, how you were raised as a child, just those people that you have close to you when you close the doors at night. You've got great blessings in this area of your life right now with Jupiter and the North Node in Virgo down there in the fourth house. And so there are people around you who want to love and support you and nurture you so that you can be all that you can be in the world. Now, part of doing that is also to strengthen any old issues that we still have looming large in our lives, things from the past. So if you have old parental scripts that are not working for you, this might be a time to root those out and be done with them. You may have some family dynamics that you would like to work on, and you've got blessings to do that right now. Since this also forms your psychological underpinnings, Jupiter in Virgo down there is encouraging you to heal the roots of who you are. So heal old emotional, psychological wounds and baggage, right? And if you take the long-term look at yourself as a soul, it could also mean that there is a need to go backwards in time and heal issues of the past in previous lives so that you can let go of the baggage again so that you can be a stronger, healthier, happier person right now. So this is part of your healing journey. And just know it does appear that you have lots of support from people who are close to you to make these very types of things happen. All right, now another thing that is going on with all of this eclipse happening between your 10th and 4th house, it's a pretty major deal, and that is that we have Saturn squaring the eclipse. Saturn is currently in your house of long-term partnerships. So this relates to lovers, marriage partners, close business partners, and depending upon how you've been using the energy, you are either committing deeply to some partnerships, delving into hearts of the matter with people you love, figuring out what you need to do to make a relationship work, making commitments and solidifying relationships. Or perhaps the other end of the stick is true, and you could be learning some hard truths about partnerships. Maybe you or your partner's needs are not being met, and you're having some issues there. Certainly at this time in regards to business, any behaviors that you have that are not helping you well or serving you well in terms of partnerships, you're going to be called to task on those. And anything that happens, any lessons that do pop up, just know that they are all meant for your betterment in the long term so that you can come out a stronger person, more wise, caring, and understanding when it comes to the significant others in your life. So all of this is really having a big impact up in that worldly house. And so, you know, it's a good time to have heartfelt, soul-felt talks with the people that you need to talk with. And I say that because you've got Mercury, the planet of communications, up in your 10th house right next to Neptune. So this is, you know, talking on a deep, soul-filled level, sharing thoughts and feelings and emotions that you have, getting real about things, finding out what you need to do to improve yourself as a partner in the world, and asking other people for their input as well. It is not a time to wear rose-colored glasses. And I say that because Neptune conjunct Mercury can bring in fogginess and uncertainty and even potentially deception and lies. So you want to get to the truth of whatever it is that's going on so that you can help put matters to rest and to heal and to move forward in a very positive direction. And also to take care of yourself along the way. And that is the true message of Ceres up there. How do you nurture yourself? How do you take care of yourself? How do you feed yourself emotionally? How do you get in touch with who you are spiritually? Sometimes with Chiron and Pisces, we can feel as if we have been divided from the universe and all there is. And yet, even when you are going through big cataclysmic events in your life, there is always a loving and kind presence there helping you along the way, even if you don't see that loving, kind presence right at the time. And again, I come back to the hard things that we go through in life are meant to help us grow. And so that loving presence is still there, even if you are facing some big cataclysmic divide in your life. And for some of you, this may be possible. You've got Pluto in your 8th house, and it is pouring energy into that feeling of, woundedness up there in the 10th. So the 8th house is a pretty power-packed place. It rules over major life transformative events. So things like life, birth, death, divorce, serious illnesses, and things that we would like to keep in the dark, like intimacy issues, taboos, deep sexual bonding with another person. And with Pluto there, you could either be facing things that you're afraid to delve into, or you're being forced to look at some situations that are being presented to you in regards to one of those things. Could even be an inheritance. So, there could possibly even be a death in the family that you are dealing with. Whatever it is that you're facing in terms of that dark night of the soul with Pluto in the 8th, just remember that you do have the capacity to heal yourself. You do have people around you who love you and want you to do well, and you have an absolute ability to heal your life. Do count on that. And yes, it may take time, and it may have a learning curve to it, especially in regards to others, but you can do this. And by doing that, the weakest part of your life can thus become the strongest. So I do encourage you, dear Gemini Rising, whatever it is that you're going through, to face it bravely and strongly, and know that whatever divide is happening, you have the power and the ability to overcome it. Seek the light. When things feel dark, seek the light. It is there. Make the necessary adjustments you need to in regards to partnerships, and count on your family and those who are closest to you to help overcome. Now, if any of you are facing a true crisis at this time and you would like some additional help in regards to your natal birth chart, feel free to give me a call. I will be running a special till March 1st, $50 for a 1-hour reading, and I'll be able to actually see your specific planets and how things are lining up for you. Also, I would absolutely just love to hear from you regarding how this report helped you in your life and what's going on. It doesn't necessarily mean that something big, bad, and ugly is going on in your life. For some of you, this could just be a very transformative time. Pluto also gives you the power to transform areas of your life. And with that powerful new moon up in the 10th house, you could be setting the seeds for an absolutely great future. So it really depends on where you are. But you're going to be digging deep no matter what's going on. And this is a time to set seeds for the future you most desire. So let me know what's happening, Gemini Rising. I wish you the absolute best. Peace, blessings, and namaste.